past 8 years, young people across the country and around the world have been discovering and sharing family stories through the Grannie Annie Family Story Celebration. Left Bank Books is pleased to be hosting this 5th annual Grannie Annie Gathering to honor the Grannie Annie writers and artists. The Grannie Annie, which is a 501c3 nonprofit corporation, was founded in 2005 by 2 local authors and publishers, Connie McIntyre and Fran Hamilton. They will now tell you more about the Grannie Annie and about the Grannie Annie volunteers who will be introducing the authors and artists who are sharing their work today. And one more note before they come up, I am going to go and turn off the air conditioning, so you'll hear a loud clunk, but don't be alarmed. And then when everybody's done speaking, we'll turn it back on again. So if you would please join me in welcoming Connie and Fran.
Connie and I are so pleased to welcome all of you here today to celebrate both family stories and the young people who discovered, wrote, illustrated, and shared some truly amazing stories from their family's history. The Grannie Annie Family Story Celebration invites young people to interview relatives about their family's history, write and illustrate a story about something interesting they've learned, and share their work. Submissions are open to students in U.S. grades 4 through 8 and homeschooled and international students of comparable ages. Additional illustrations are solicited from schools in the St. Louis area. Each year, an illustrated collection of student stories is published by the Grannie Annie. This year's selected stories and illustrations are published in a paperback book, a PDF book, and on the Grannie Annie website.
Thank you all for coming. This is terrific. Way back when, in the year 2005 and 2006, when Grannie Annie was getting started, it was that first volume was produced by a team of dedicated volunteers. It was a team of 2. This year, volume 8 was created with the help of 31 volunteers and 3 paid consultants. So we're really pleased with how the Grannie Annie is growing. Not only that, the first year we had 135 submissions from students, and this year the stories and the illustrations that were chosen to be published were selected from 446 submissions. So it's quite an honor. The Grannie Annie experience continues to grow as well. We have added a couple of new experiences to the Grannie Annie lineup recently that have been really well received. We offer read aloud coaching for the authors, and we also, for 2 years now, have had a professional art exhibit of the Grannie Annie illustrations, and you're going to be seeing some of those today, and they are just terrific. So the Grannie Annie just keeps getting bigger and better. And I'm pleased for the 2nd year in a row to be able to tell you, and I have to get this right, that financial assistance for this project has been provided by the Missouri Arts Council, a state agency. We are very honored to be a recipient of this grant, and the grant money is really put to good use and is an important part of our budget. But we want you all to know that it's actually a very small part of our budget, that the Grannie Annie is able to continue to grow and prosper because of donations from people like you, donations from people who feel that they value what the Grannie Annie has to offer, and they recognize the really rich experience that these young people have and that they share with their families and share with the community. And so at the end of the program today, if you have been listening to these young people and are inspired and impressed by what they do, we hope you will consider making a donation to the Grannie Annie. Plastic, we can take it. Trash, we can take it. Checks are fine. So see me after the program if you would like to help make Grannie Annie Volume 9 a reality, and we would appreciate it so much. So let's have some introductions. Let's begin with anyone in the last 8 years who has written and submitted a Grannie Annie story. please stand up and let us recognize you as a Grannie Annie story keeper. Anytime in the last 8 years, including this year. Thank you. Are there any students here, anytime in the last 8 years, have you created an illustration for a Grannie Annie family story and submitted it to the Grannie Annie? We have illustrators here today. I think a lot of you are already standing, and I really apologize for that. Every year we try to bring more chairs from wherever we can find them, and we still run out, which is a wonderful problem to have, but we do apologize that there's not more seating for you. We know that the Grannie Annie requires a lot of support from parents and family members, and if you are here today supporting a young Grannie Annie author or artist, will you please stand so we can thank you as well? Family members and staff. That's terrific. We so appreciate your support. And let's see, let's move along. I think we got some teachers here, some Grannie Annie teachers who came to support their students. We know Grannie Annie requires extra work from you, so thank you for what you do. We have some volunteers for Grannie Annie and board members here. Want to stand up so we can clap, please? Or wave your hands so we know you're doing it? And Bud Hirsch is here. He's on our board. And Jessica, where did you? And in the back. Okay. Jessica's here too. Great. We have Mary Edwards here with us today. We're so thankful for her presence. Mary is with the St. Louis Public Radio 90.7 KWMU, and she is recording the event today. And we will let you know we're expecting and hoping to be asked back on the St. Louis on the Air show, probably sometime this fall, and we'll be sharing some of the stories that we hear today. So I hope you will watch our website so we can let you know about that. Thank you, Mary, and thank you to TJ Jarrett, who is from 70 Lens Photography, who is I always want to say videotaping, and that really ages me. He's taking moving pictures somehow. I don't know how. So that will be recorded too. So thank you all for all your help to make this happen today. Let's see. I think I'm going to turn this over to you, Granny. You have some more introductions. Just a couple more, and then we're getting started.
Today's authors and artists will be introduced by two accomplished and very generous Grannie Annie volunteers. Martha Stegmeyer, a member of our selection committee and a Grannie Annie reading coach, is the St. Louis Public Schools program director for the educational nonprofit Springboard. Springboard is the area's largest provider of in-school arts and enrichment programs. And Dale Chambers, our volunteer consultant for illustration selection, is a widely exhibited multimedia artist. She's founder of Yeo Arts Collective and the associated Gaia Community Gallery, where our exhibit was held. The stories and illustrations shared today will be presented in chronological order according to story setting. Students, please remember to speak and read slowly and clearly into the microphone. We don't want to miss a word. And now I'm going to turn things over to Martha and Dale. Martha?
One more comment, and that is that because we have such a wonderfully large number of students participating this year, the authors are going to read an excerpt from their story. So you're not going to hear how the story ends. You're going to have to find the end of the story somewhere else. So we're going to leave you hanging on a cliff. So I just wanted you to know that.
And I have one more thing to add. I know that some of the authors might not have a copy of Grannie Annie with them, and there is one up here on the podium. So don't worry about not having a book. There's one up here that you'll be able to read. And if you borrow it, be sure to put it back.